born in France, born in a diplomatic family.
Yeah, I was born in
global
Paris,
travels from a young age, right? And
I was born in France 58 years ago already.
Yeah, we're all young.
Yeah. And spent 17 years in Russia and former USSR, so a long time there. Spent 22 years in Cambodia, so that's the country I've spent most of my life.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. So, yeah, you have lived abroad for, a large portion of your life, many different countries. And then in the latter part of 2001 into the beginning of 2002, somewhere in there, you ended up in Cambodia.
Right.
What's that story and how did that happen?
So at the time I was working for an NGO called Pharmacists Without Borders.
Yep.
I have an interesting way because usually people will go from NGOs to business. I was in business before. Spent a lot of years in Russia working in Nizhny Novgorod.
Yep.
And doing business there. And then from there, I went to Pharmacists Without Borders, spent almost 11 years with them. And I was in Moldova before, and there was an opportunity to come to Cambodia because the head of mission here had to go on maternity leave. So she had a 3-month maternity leave, and they needed somebody to take over during those 3 months.
Yeah.
So I arrived in, I think it was January 2002 for 3 months.
Okay.
And
And you'd never been before that?
I lost my return ticket. I don't know what happened. And
serious?
No, but I'm still here. So initially it was a 3-month contract, and I ended up here. So I continued for a few years with Pharmacists Without Borders because she didn't come back and so on. And then I decided to get back to business. So then I started various businesses, but I could never completely forget the NGO part of me. So even like last year, I did a mission for Oxfam in the Tonle Sap. And so we always kept a lot of activities related to non-profits and cultural promotion and all sorts of things like that. So I'm one of the few people who are completely built from the two cultures, the NGO non-profit and business orientation. So I'm always on both of these identities.
Yeah. So back in 2002, that was quite early, and there was the need and the opportunity for important humanitarian work. Pharmacists Without Borders, I'm familiar with them, of course. And so you came over at that time, and I remember what it was like, back in 2001, 2002. There's still a lot of need, and honestly, anywhere in the world, there's need and there's opportunity to help people out, support, and even more strategic endeavors of eliminating poverty and need and things like that. So you came over. At that time, focused initially the first couple years on the humanitarian side of things.
Yeah, Pharmacists Without Borders was very much specialized in sexually transmitted diseases at the time, which is a topic I'm not very, I don't really enjoy working in, and so I didn't try to stay too long on that. Before that, in Moldova, we were on pediatrics, children hospitals and things like that, which I found a lot more stimulating for me. And I was thinking that we did the Kabiki, which was a hotel dedicated to kids and families.
Yep.
Because I was accused by a lot of people of being a bit fascist with the Pavilion. I even had a paper there was a newspaper called Cambodia Daily. They did a whole page on me saying I'm a fascist because I don't accept Khmer children in the hotel. And then I said, I'm even worse than that because even those who are not Khmer I also don't accept. So
it's not focused on children. Yeah.
It's focused on children. So It was an adult-only hotel, romantic. Nothing weird was happening there. It was very conservative, but it's just.
But they just didn't want little kids running around. That wasn't the.
I didn't want the noise and the disturbance of the kids, but I was also very concerned about the private swimming pools. Without the pavilion has at the moment 6 swimming pools. And so the risk is high, and a lot of unsupervised areas and so on. So I decided that this hotel would be without kids. And I even one day got a letter from the UNICEF complaining about this. And I thought it's really unfair because there are hotels in Cambodia, not just in Cambodia, but everywhere, which don't accept children and women. And, there are 2 in Cambodia which accept only men, and nobody bothers them. But for me, I accept women. And so anyway, I decided to open a hotel dedicated to families.
So that was Kabiki.
Kabiki.
And that was here in Phnom Penh as well.
Yeah, it was just less than 100 meters from Pavilion. And it was completely dedicated. We had pizzas in the shape of clowns. We had 2 swimming pools, so that the one would be very shallow. The other one was a little less shallow. But a lot of things really dedicated to children and families. Because I felt, I had to do something for the families after rejecting them at Pavilion. And so then we had the Blue Lime, which was a bit of an industrial setup near the Royal Palace. And then we had...
So that was another one right here in Phnom Penh as well.
Another one we did in the 240 was a hotel of 10 rooms in Street 240. It lasted maybe 5-6 years. We had another one, which was an Elsewhere hotel on Street 278. Then we did a big one for us, which was Plantation, 84 rooms. So that was a kind of a big project, which was interesting because I managed to put in there a lot of art-related activities with exhibitions, openings almost every month and a half. So we were quite active with this. We had the Malibu bungalows in Sihanoukville for maybe 2 years. Mayura Hotel in Mondulkiri for 1 year. Kirira Mountain Lodge for 3-4 years. Templation Hotel in Siem Reap that we still operate. Island Center Point on the Korong Salam that we operate now. We're working on one in near Kulen Mountains on the side of Beng Melia Temple in a beautiful location with a wat which is called Phnom Bay. Absolutely stunning place. What else? So these are for the hotels, but then we've been very active on the cultural side, and that's the part that is interesting to me. We've had Chinese House, which was also a heritage building. So we renovated 3 heritage buildings in Phnom Penh. Pavilion. 4. Pavilion, Elsewhere, Chinese House, and Plantation.
These were heritage homes that were renovated.
And some of them with the help of French historic architects. To help us identify how they were in the 20s, 30s, and putting them back into exactly their original shape. Angkor has been the magnet. But it overshadows the rest of the country. I always say it's the luck and the curse of Cambodian tourism.
This is an important statement that you made there as well, Alexis, that, of course, Angkor is the attraction. There's only one Angkor Wat in the world, and it's in Cambodia, right? But I like that statement that it, to a degree, it overshadows the rest of what's available here in Cambodia.
Yeah, so that's really a problem because for a lot of people, when they identify Cambodia to Angkor, and more even specifically Angkor Wat. I mean, it's also on the flag of the national country. It's everywhere. And every time you talk about tourism in Cambodia, you always have the picture of Angkor.
Yeah, if you talk about Egypt, you're going to think pyramids.
They use a little less the pyramids because they have a more diverse type of heritage. I mean, if you look at the tombs and the temples, the Valley of the Kings with the tombs and all the temples that are along the Nile have very, very strong identities, which are very different from the pyramids. And they have the hieroglyphs and so on. So the problem is Angkor is what we have here is more temples. So you have Angkor Wat, which is the main one, but you have the rest is most of the heritage is temples again. So it's a more challenging destination to sell, but very much like Egypt, it's an archaeological destination. And,
wonder destination.
And then you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is that Angkor is on the bucket list, or at least was on the bucket list of many people which have seen it, and they tick the box. And because they identify Cambodia to Angkor, if they have an Angkor Wat, if they have seen Angkor Wat, they have seen Cambodia, so done. And so it's very difficult.
Is the overshadowing part that you talk about.
So it's very difficult to generate repeating customers, which our neighboring countries don't have. They don't, in Vietnam or Thailand, you don't have one big
heritage archaeological site.
That people will identify as the only destination.
Especially a bucket list destination.
So for us, and that's where we as the private sector need to come up with more attractions and to diversify the experience of people coming to Cambodia, so that so that people don't identify us just as one temple. Because how long do you need to visit a temple, even if you really like that temple? 1.5 days. So shortcut 1.5 days to visit Angkor Wat, so 1.5 days to visit Cambodia, and done.
Right.
So that's what we're up against.
Right. So there are other destinations and other things to do in Cambodia besides just the Angkor and the Angkor Wat temples.
Yeah, there are a lot, but we need to reveal them.
Right.
And
so this is what you've been working on, you could say, the last 20 plus years even.
Yeah, the consensus is that we have a lot of things and people don't know. My perception is we haven't revealed them sufficiently, and we need to have people like me, but not just me, hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs to do this job of revealing and making the destination more diverse, and enriching than what it is, so that people could be blown away and would feel the need to come back, because Cambodia is not small, and there are enough things that we could use in the country in order to make it a strong destination.